Before you buy your next lottery ticket, I need you to stop just for a moment and notice what is happening inside your chest right now. Not what you think, what you feel. There is a good chance that somewhere beneath the hope, beneath the small prayer you whisper at the counter or in the parking lot before you walk in, there is something quieter and heavier, a feeling that those prayers, the ones you say about money, have never quite landed the way your other prayers have. You've prayed your whole life. You've seen God move in your family, in your health, in moments where there was no explanation but His hand. But when it comes to money, when it comes to that specific, silent request, something feels different. Something feels like you are knocking on a door that is almost, but not quite, opening. If that is you, write in the comments right now the name of your city or your state, because what is about to happen here is not just a video playing on a screen. This is a gathering. Every name in those comments is a presence, a person who decided today to stop accepting that gap between their faith and their finances. Write your city. You are not alone in this room. And if you have not yet subscribed to this channel, subscribe now. Not as a favor to me, but as a gesture to yourself that says, I choose to stay on the path that feeds my spirit. Now, I am going to give you 3 words, 3 specific words that, when spoken from the right place, in the right way, with the right understanding behind them, shift something in you that changes how God is able to move on your behalf. Those words are, I already have. Go to the comments and write this right now. Just 2 words. I receive. Not because it is a formality, because the act of writing it is already the first step of what I am about to teach you. You are not clicking on a comment box. You are opening your hands. Stay with me, because the words are just the beginning, and what I am about to show you next is the part that almost nobody ever explains. Here is what is actually happening when most people pray before they buy a lottery ticket. And this is not a rebuke. It is a diagnosis offered with love. When your body is under financial stress, and for many of you that stress is real and it is chronic, your brain is flooded with cortisol. Researchers at the HeartMath Institute have spent decades measuring what that cortisol does to the electrical rhythm of the heart. And what they found is this: a stressed heart produces what they call incoherent rhythms, fragmented, erratic signals that close down the very receptive capacity you are trying to activate when you pray. In plain terms, praying from a place of desperation is like trying to tune into a radio station while someone is screaming in your ear. The signal is there. God is there, but your internal noise is too loud. to receive what is already being sent. And here's the part that will stay with you. The Hebrew word for faith, emunah, does not mean believing something will happen someday. It means standing firm in what already is. When Jesus said in the Gospel of Mark, "Believe that you have received," the verb in the original Greek is past tense, not will receive, have received. The mystics knew this. The ancient teachers knew this. Your prayer about money has not been failing because God is withholding. It has been missing because the posture you carry when you speak it is working against itself. And in the next few minutes, I am going to show you exactly how to change that posture, down to the breath, down to where you place your hand. What I am about to walk you through is not a technique invented last year by someone selling a course. It is a practice rooted in traditions thousands of years old. Confirmed now, quietly, by what neuroscience is only beginning to measure. And it begins with 3 words that reposition everything. I already have. These words are not a magic formula. They are not positive thinking in a spiritual costume. They are a doorway into the internal posture that every wisdom tradition on earth, from Christianity to Judaism to Islam, has pointed toward as the condition under which divine favor flows most freely. I will show you the theology. I will show you the science. And then I will walk you through the full ritual, step by step, breath by breath, so that the next time you stand at that threshold before buying your ticket, you are not praying from the outside of your blessing, hoping it arrives. You are praying from inside it, because you already know it is there. There is a parable I want you to hold in your mind. 2 women from the same town made the same journey every week to the same church, carrying the same request: relief from financial hardship. Both believed in God completely, but one would arrive already speaking as she walked. "Thank you, Lord, for what you are already doing." She would light her candle and say, without drama, without performance, "This light is the sign of what is already moving on my behalf." She would leave without urgency, without looking over her shoulder for a sign. The other would arrive clutching her petition, praying with great earnestness about everything she lacked, and leave each time watching, waiting, checking. At the end of one particular year, the first woman received, quietly, through unexpected channels, enough. A debt forgiven. A relative she hadn't spoken to in years who called out of nowhere. Work that appeared at the right moment. The second woman received none of what she prayed for, and she left convinced that prayer simply didn't work for her. The difference was not the strength of their faith. It was where they stood when they prayed. One stood inside the answered prayer. The other stood outside it, looking in. And that is exactly what the 3 words, "I already have," are designed to do. To move you from the outside to the inside before you ever touch the ticket. Now let me show you how. The first thing you do is stop before you enter the store, not at the counter, not in line, but at the threshold, outside the door, in that liminal space between the street and the place of purchase. Doorways have been treated as spiritually significant in virtually every human culture that has ever existed. The Hebrew mezuzah placed at the entrance of the home, the Catholic sign of the cross upon entering a church, the Islamic Bismillah spoken before beginning any meaningful action. You are going to use that threshold. You are going to pause there, and you are going to take one slow breath. In through the nose for 4 counts, hold for 2, and out through the mouth for 6. That specific rhythm is used in cardiac rehabilitation to activate what the nervous system calls the parasympathetic state, the rest and receive state, within 60 seconds. Spiritually, you are making space. You are quieting the noise so the signal can come through. Then, and this is the step most people would never think to take, but it changes everything. You place your right hand flat over your heart, palm open, fingers together, not clenched. The Heart Math Institute has measured that the heart generates an electromagnetic field roughly 100 times stronger than the brain's. When you place your hand there, you are directing your full attention to the organ that every spiritual tradition on earth associates with faith, with love, with the capacity to receive. If you are watching this right now, and you are in a place where you can do this, do it now. Place your hand on your heart. Feel the warmth of your own palm against your chest. That warmth is real. That contact is real. What you are about to say is also real. If this is landing for you, if something in your body said yes to what you just felt, check that you are subscribed to this channel and leave your like on this video. Not as a small gesture, as a signal that says, I take my spiritual growth seriously. I do not let what feeds me pass through me without acknowledgement. Then, with your hand on your heart, after that breath, you say, aloud or in a clear and deliberate inner voice, these words: I already have. Thank you. The thank you is not an afterthought. Gratitude is the emotion most consistently linked in psychological research with expanded awareness and openness. And spiritually, it is the proof of faith. Because you do not thank someone for something you do not believe you have already received. In Kabbalistic teaching, what is ordained by God already exists in the spiritual dimension before it appears in the physical. The infinite already poured into the vessel before the vessel can see it. In Christian mysticism, this is called prolepsis, living now from the reality of a promised future. In Islam, tawakkul teaches full reliance on God, combined with right action. You tie your camel, and then you trust. Buying the ticket is the action. I already have is the trust. These traditions are not all pointing at the same thing by coincidence. They are describing the same river from different riverbanks. And then you enter the store without hurry, without desperation, with the body language of someone who already has. Think of a person who has just received a phone call telling them they inherited a house. They don't have the keys yet. They haven't seen the rooms. But the moment they hang up, something shifts in their body. They walk differently. They breathe differently. They are not pretending. They genuinely have the house, even before the paperwork. That is the inner state you are carrying through that door. That is, I already have, made flesh. Now I need to say something directly, because I respect you too much to leave it unsaid. Someone watching this will take these 3 words and use them like a vending machine code. Say the phrase, get the prize. And when that happens, the words become hollow, and hollow words land nowhere. The ritual I just walked you through is not a shortcut. It is a realignment. And here is what I need you to understand. This practice does not guarantee a lottery win. I will not tell you that it does, because that would be a lie dressed in spiritual clothing. And you deserve better than that. What I already have does is place you in alignment with divine flow. And divine flow does not always arrive as a jackpot. Sometimes it arrives as the right conversation with the right person the following week. Sometimes it arrives as a door opening in a direction you weren't even looking. The parable of the persistent widow in the Gospel of Luke teaches not that God rewards the one who asks the most times, but that God moves for those whose inner posture remains open, whose hands stay unclenched, whose hearts stay expectant without turning rigid. The Greek word in that passage for losing heart, enkakein, means specifically to shrink inward from weariness. I already have is the direct antidote to that shrinking. It does not control where the river goes. It places you in the current instead of standing on the shore, watching it pass without you. You came into this knowing something was missing, and now you know what it was. Not faith, not devotion, not the sincerity of your prayers, but the posture from which they were spoken. That posture has a name now. It has a breath, a gesture, a declaration, and a threshold where it begins. You are not leaving this the same as you arrived. There is someone in your life right now. You already know who it is, who carries that same quiet financial weariness we named at the beginning of this video. They are not asking for help. They are just tired. Send this to them, not as advice, as a hand extended in the dark. You may be the reason they find this practice today. You may be the messenger God chose to reach them, and that in itself is divine favor moving through you before you ever buy a single ticket. Before you close this video, I want you to do one final thing. Go to the comments and write this declaration in full. Read it once before you type it. Let it settle in your body, and then write every word. I am aligned with divine favor. I receive with open hands and a grateful heart. God moves everything in my favor. Amen. This is not a comment. It is a covenant. It is the moment where everything you received in silence today becomes a declaration spoken openly in a community of people who made the same choice you made, to stop standing outside their blessing and step inside it. Write it and know that it is sealed. You came here today looking for 3 words. What you found, if you let yourself receive it, is something far older and far more powerful than any formula. You found the posture of someone who trusts that God has already moved. That posture, that inner stance, is the beginning of everything. Go now, and as you go, know this: you are not walking toward your favor. You are walking inside it.